Alright, so I'm here at Oculus Connect. Thomas Voodoo is here as well. We're in the streamers area, and back behind me is the Oculus classroom. And then we're overlooking the show floor, so right below me is Super Hot VR on the Oculus Quest. I did play Oculus Quest titles for the first time today. Thomas and I played Dead and Buried in an arena scale experience. It was pretty awesome, I gotta say. And then beyond Super Hot, there's also Tennis Scramble, there's an arcade, there's VR League tournaments going on, and Face Your Fears, and also a dev meet and greet experience with a bunch of different titles. Haven't really seen anything that surprised me that's brand new outside of course, the Oculus Quest, which is formerly the Santa Cruz device, but definitely having an awesome time meeting up with my VR tuber friends. If I continue panning, back there is the man Nathan, the Guinness World Record holder as the most famous or most followed VR-specific YouTuber. And next to him is VR Oasis Mike as well. They also host the F Reality podcast every Saturday. So just wanted to check in and say hi from Oculus Connect, and I'll be back with more soon. Alright, so I just wanted to go ahead and show some highlights of the experiences that I had at Oculus Connect 5, but I also wanted to give a recap of what we heard and what we learned at OC5. So, in the keynote, the first day, the big announcement was the Oculus Quest device, formerly the Santa Cruz prototype that's been shown a couple of times, but not really to the public. I hadn't had a chance to try out the Quest until OC5 this week. That device is going to be shipping this coming spring for a base model price of $399. It's going to have a 64 gigabyte internal storage. At that price point, it sounds like there may be other price points with possibly other storage options or other audio options or other functionality options. I'm not sure what those other options might be. They were not super forthcoming about that type of stuff. But it is running on a Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 chipset, same chipset that you'd find in the Lenovo Mirage Solo, the Vive Focus, and a couple of other reference headsets, and I believe it's also in the Pico Neo headset as well. Had some hands-on time with the Oculus Quest. Very cool quality. It tracks with two touch controllers, very similar to the Oculus Go, but they're kind of more of a wand style. So very similar in feel to a very light version and very compact version of the Windows Mixed Reality headset controllers. I will also say it tracks about as well or slightly better than Windows Mixed Reality. So if you've had experience with the Windows Mixed Reality headset, think about that in terms of how your hands will appear in motion in the Oculus Quest. Now, I have to preface this as we played gun games. We played, there was a tennis demo available. There was a Face Your Fears demo available, but there wasn't anything with like a bow and arrow mechanic or something where your hands may occlude each other. I did hear reports from others that they had some problems with the controller tracking. I can't say I had any issues with controller tracking in Super Hot and Dead and Buried Arena Scale, which were the two experiences that I tried. I didn't have a chance to try the tennis demo, which probably would have, because you're swinging your arm, been a better reference set for like controller occlusion issues. But in the experiences that I had, they definitely controlled just as well as Windows Mixed Reality, if not slightly better. There are 4 cameras to track, whereas the Lenovo Mirage Solo and the HTC Vive Focus only have 2. So I think you may get a bigger area. I didn't really notice that in the 2 experiences that I played. But the coolest feature set that I haven't seen anywhere else was when we played the Dead and Buried Arena experience. I got to play against one of my friends, Voodoo DE, and man, that experience itself was outstanding. All 6 players in a room, very large room mind you, were captured, and you could turn and see their avatars and their actions in real time. And I didn't notice any lag. Now, obviously, I was in a headset, so I can't tell you what the real-world experience looks like outside of watching a monitor. They had it very well filmed with an iPad where you could see the experience both in-game with a small window of outside the game. And it was just uncanny how well it worked. And with a $400 headset, I feel like it worked better than some of the Octatrack solutions I've seen that are thousands and thousands of dollars in arcade equipment. So I'm excited to see the potential for location-based experiences. Also, because it has more horsepower and the ability to have feature parity with the Rift, I'm also excited to see how developers can share their content in public in the future. Because right now, taking out a Rift or a Vive or a Windows Mixed Reality headset, carrying a computer, either a bulky laptop for gaming or a desktop setup, to conferences or conventions, that could all be reduced down to carrying a small bag about the size of an Oculus Go case. Like I have this old Gear VR case sitting next to me here. I mean, this is a lot smaller than a laptop bag. And, you know, obviously you'd have to incorporate space for the touch controllers as well. But that's a lot smaller footprint than what you'd get with carrying all of that other equipment with you. There's also no need to carry any other external tracking solutions. So I'm excited to see how that brings demos to conferences, demos to other people's homes, and things of that nature. Do I think it's something that you absolutely have to have if you've already got a Rift or a Vive? Probably not. Not if you're only going to be playing VR in your home. But for those that take VR out on the road, for those that don't have a VR system set up yet and are concerned about prices or issues related to what devices you need to have, if you don't have a PS4, if you don't have a PSVR, I definitely think the Quest is probably the device to get for the future. At a $400 price point, sounds like it's going to have a pretty cool library. The only 4 titles, unfortunately, at launch that have been announced thus far were Vader Immortal Episode 1 from ILMX Labs, Moss from Polyarch. The Robo Recall game is going to have a port from Epic Games, and I believe the Climb from Crytek. Those are the only launch titles that have been officially confirmed as of yet. We, of course, did get to play Super Hot and Dead and Buried, so those are properties that at least demos have been worked out for. Can't guarantee any launch for those, or if they'll actually come to the Quest. But it sounds like Oculus is very focused on getting developers the right tools to make experiences that will work across both the Quest and the Rift, and maybe even in future iterations of those devices as well. Michael Abrash, as well as Hugo Barra, when they were in the keynote, mentioned they are definitely looking to make sure that in the future, titles that currently work on the platforms that exist today, now defining the Go, Rift, and Quest as the first generation, and the completion of the first generation of Oculus devices, that they still support backward compatibility. So I'm hoping that maybe the Rift titles that we've already purchased in our library, if Quest ports come out, maybe we might get a discount. We might be able to play cross-play. There's a lot of different possibilities there, and I'm pretty excited for that as well. Outside of technology and gameplay, though, the thing that was absolutely fantastic about Oculus Connect 5 was the ability to connect with other members of the community. I talk to people from the virtual reality community on a daily basis, and I have some of the best conversations with some of the most passionate people in the world because of this technology. And to be able to see hundreds of people that I talk to and I interact with almost every day of my life in person. We were joking on Twitter earlier about how many hugs that we had to deliver, and my hug meter was broken by the end of this. I mean, it was so amazing. Just being able to see the people and connect with the people and thank the people and be thanked by the people for the work that we do together. And this is just such a remarkable thing that hundreds of people became thousands of people that has now started to grow into the millions of people that believe in this technology and have tried this technology and love this technology. So absolutely thank you to every single person I interacted with. So if you get the opportunity to actually go to Oculus Connect, I certainly encourage it in the future. It is not like any other conference I've ever been to, again, because of that mass convergence of people that believe in the same technology. Whether it was developers, whether it was content creators, whether it was enthusiasts, whether it was just people that were there to experience VR for the first time, Oculus Connect 5 truly lives up to the name of connecting. And those connections are things that I'll take back with me and remember for the rest of my life. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I don't have anything else to share from Oculus Connect 5 outside of what's in my heart. But I'll be back with more content soon. So until next time, get out there and enjoy some VR for yourself.